All right, we should be streaming.
Let me refresh YouTube. And yeah, we're here.
Cool.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
Yeah, good morning, good evening, everyone. Heads up that Raz and I haven't done a test stream before this one, but we've got some reasonably similar settings to the last stream with a few little tweaks. So everyone just give us a confirmation that you can hear us fine, and we'll kick things off.
Let's see. Let me refresh it one more time because the video quality is questionable.
Okay.
When I'm looking, because I'm seeing you via our meet, and when I'm looking at the YouTube stream, oh man, it just brings me back in time a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, for anyone who's watching,
Yeah,
like, Raz and I are high res to each other. It's just the stream.
something happened.
Oh, I'm just. It's all right. Wait.
Okay. So as soon as I was saying about the video quality, it just bumped up a bit.
Oh, really? That's a
Yeah,
nice. That's a
I
nice
think we
update.
should complain more at the beginning of the stream, of our stream.
Yeah.
But it's something with the webcams. If you can check the live stream, you'll be able to see something happened. There were some notes on top of your video.
Yeah. I just put my notes up for the conversation pieces and then dragged it across to the other monitor.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought there was an error or something. So yeah, hey everyone, can you please let us know if you can hear us and see us reasonably well? By the way, we had some suggestions about doing X spaces, Twitter spaces, AMA. We should try that once and see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we could just try
I'm
like
not
a.
sure if
Maybe we can just
I'm
try a
sorry.
little. Maybe we can just try like a little less, like less official update kind of thing, like a less because this is going to be a pretty big release update. Yeah, so maybe just like
Yeah.
a little mini update or something just to try it out.
Okay. I'm not even sure that they have video there because I've seen some streams
Mm-hmm.
and there are people speaking, but I'm not sure if they are able to uh, open their webcams or stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just audio. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a part of a couple of spaces and it's just been audio. I'm not sure if there's a video option. Yeah. All right. No one's talking in the chat yet. I don't know. Should we just kick things off and get the stream going?
Yeah, well, we can. Yeah, okay, let's go.
Let's go.
I think we're good. The chat is working. I did a test. I can see us. I can hear us. So I think we're good to go.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our pre-launch AMA today. We have Garth here ready to share some big updates, and we've been working pretty much day and night for a couple of weeks, and we're ready to share with you what has been done in the past couple of weeks. And yeah, we're excited about that. and thank you for joining again. If you have any questions, please put them in the YouTube chat. I was telling Garth that we don't have a lot of questions so far, so I'm guessing people are just expecting updates, and yeah, they're ready to hear everything.
Cool. Well, should I start?
Yeah, well, yeah. How are you? What's up? What
I'm
have you
pretty
been
good.
done?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I've been working pretty hard and not sleeping so much just because of like when you're working until 2 a.m., it's hard to get to sleep and, like, and then getting into work at, getting up at 6 a.m. to get into work the next day. So it's been pretty full on. All I can say, like a bit of preamble, would be like, if anyone in our community is looking forward to us releasing the game, I don't think anyone's keener than I am to get this launch out and get people playing it. And not just the whole team is super keen to get the game in front of people and get, you make a piece of art and you want people to play it and experience it, right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to getting this done. All right, so yeah, one thing about, I guess, like, we'll talk about the updates that have gone in ahead of this launch. But before we do that, I'll just kind of mention that two sort of things happened that made us push the release date back a little bit. Those things were that we were kind of getting close to the date that we wanted to launch attacks anyway, like sort of between us launching the first release and then the attacks release. Like, the time frame wasn't going to be so much. It was going to be like a month, so it just made sense to wrap them together into the one launch, because there's quite a bit of time spent in like making a build candidate, testing the build candidate, making any tweaks or updates, and then making a new build, and then putting it up, getting it online, and then testing that, like going through all of the stuff. Because like whenever you test the release candidate, you've got to go through like making a new account and getting creatures and then doing the breed. You have to go through all those steps. It's quite time intensive. So it made sense to kind of combine those two things together. Plus, as we were kind of getting things like rolling through our launch promotion with all of the early OG backers, it sort of became clear that it was going to be like, we already had some free to play mechanics in the game. But it kind of became clear that we kind of needed just to extend that a bit more. So there's been a bit more, and it kind of all fit within technology that we had already. So there's been a bit more sort of like free to play stuff going into the build, just so that it'll make it a better launch for not just the OG backers, but anyone else coming in fresh. So anyway, so those two things kind of combined. Like, we kind of wanted to add some more features, and then we wanted to include it with attacks and just sort of go out with a launch, essentially. Yeah. So all right. So let's go through what those new features are. So if people who are familiar with what was kind of included in our like seasoning 1 launch versus seasoning 2, seasoning 3, you'll kind of see a few things from seasoning 2 and seasoning 3 in this launch. The first one of those is plot expansion. Quite a lot of people bought quite a lot of buildings and were pretty keen to get a whole lot of love shacks and breed a whole lot of creatures at once and get a little kind of breeding farms going. And to do that, you're going to need extra plots to be able to fit them all on there. So yeah, there's a bit of space on one plot, but we felt like people were going to need extra plots. So we've added the plot expansion feature. So that's in this launch. The big one is we're including attacks. And there's been quite a bit of stuff happening in attacks as well. So we're including attacks in this V1 launch. We put a lot of polish into the levels and stages in attacks, and we kind of went with a slightly different direction to initially. Like, we started out with a Gyrus kind of meets Gallagher kind of style thing, and then that was kind of fun, but it just sort of, I don't know, how to say, like, it was fun, but it wasn't sort of blowing our socks off. It was good. It was a good game. It was a good game. But we kind of uncovered some stuff in attacks that like blew our socks off, where we were just at the office going like having like wow, like WTF kind of moments, like that's awesome, and like high-fiving each other for good like level design and stuff like that. So that stuff has made it in. So we've kind of gone back and gone, okay, well, we did our sort of Gyrus meets Gallagher thing, and that sort of was going to be level 1 and it was going to progress up. But where it progressed to, that is now level 1. So it's all kind of been shifted, and then we've kind of made a new bunch of levels, and they're really wicked. It's kind of like I'd almost say the kind of levels and stages and enemy activity that the original developers of Dryas and Gallagher would have done if the hardware could have done it. Just leave it at that, I guess. So it's pretty cool. So
I have a question. Someone asked a couple of days on the group, and I'd like us to clarify that. So regarding the free to play, when you're saying free to play, does it mean that a new person, a new user who's recently joined Wonderman would be able to play for free? What kind of access would he have in terms of free to play? Would he be able to join battles? Would he be able to, I don't know, read or play the mini games? Can you please clarify that?
I can clarify that. So the quick answer to that question is like yes, yes, yes to all those 3 points. But how about we'll go through I want to go through like my release notes because it kind of ties in together, if that kind of makes sense. Okay. so hold that thought. Just hold it. What else have I got notes? Okay, we've added with attacks we added an extreme mode. So that was something that came out of our design. Like there's always a bunch of different ways you can sort of a bunch of different directions you can take a game, and sort of in some cases there might be two really strong candidates and neither one are invalid. They're just different approaches. So what we end up doing was my version of attacks is called, like, we're calling it regular mode or just be attacks. And then we've got a new mode called extreme mode, which is kind of something the team wanted to add, which makes it even harder. So there's another mode to attacks as well. This and the next point I'm going to add here ties into the whole free-to-play gameplay loop. So in the full version, like this discovery mode of attacks, you're going to be discovering creatures when you get to the planets. We kind of felt like there was something missing in this arcade mode. You get to a planet and it's like, woohoo, you made it. Okay, play again. It's just sort of, I don't know, just the game was built around this creature discovery. So we had this other problem with, not problem, we had this thing with power-ups. I wasn't fully, like, our power-ups were cool, but I wasn't just, they weren't lighting me on fire. Like, there's something missing with the power-ups, like the way they're collected and spent. So I was refining that, and I decided to do those as gems, which wasn't a big change because we just had like pickups or whatever that were like different shapes and whatever, but they just turned them into gems. And then that kind of just led into this like, oh my god, I was gonna swear, I won't swear. Like, oh my god, like this actually makes sense. Like we could have this gem discovery for power-ups, but if you interact with gems in a different way, you can like lasso them to collect them into the ship, or if you get to a planet, you get like the rarer, more prized kind of gems. And that was just kind of like the aha moment. It's just like put it all together. So our gems went from just like some little pickup gems to being like a whole range. We've got like, we've got like about 55 minimum starter set of gems with all different values that, and that's they have points and health. So points applies to attacks, health applies to like the rest of the game and the free to play stuff. So anyway, but we did this whole sort of gem discovery feature, which just kind of meant we had to sort of finish the creature discovery feature, which we were going to finish later on, but we had to finish it now because now it's gem discovery. It's the same thing. Later on, we just swap the gems for creatures. So we had to sort of expand on the discovery feature. So that's done. Okay, so gem collection and item repairing. So as I mentioned, the gems will give you points in attacks, but when you bring them out of attacks and you come into the rest of the game, they can be spent to repair items. They're kind of like traded essentially with the Arcadian hometown people to like repair stuff, right? Repair your buildings and things. So as your buildings are placed on plots and as you use items for growing creatures or raising creatures, things deteriorate and you can just spend items to repair them. It's like pretty simple. But we added so we added that whole feature of like spending, like collecting gems and then spending them to repair items. So that's a new feature. Okay, and that brings us to the free-to-play content. So as I said, all these things just kind of tied together and just made a whole lot of sense. So we're giving away, we're going to give away, actually no, sorry, I'll start with this. The free-to-play thing was always going to be if you come to the game, you can play mini games like people have been playing right now. You can play pinball for free just with a ball bearing, like a steel ball, and you can play attacks for free and get gems. So that was always in the initial launch. And then later on, when we had battles, you'd be able to play for free using other people's creatures. So if you guys all the OGs all have creatures that are in the creature pool, they're all staked. Then other people who come in new can play with those for free. Like that's kind of the free to play experience. But kind of, I'd say the problem we had was that let's move my mic a little closer. The problem that we had is sorry, it's really loud now. The problem that we had was wait, I've moved my mic back further away. Like it's like
I mean, I can hear well.
Yeah, no, that's
like
okay.
This.
When my mic was too close, it was like it's pinging out. Yeah, so when we sort of like finished off the village mode and had all the cool props and all the cool stuff in the village, like we really expanded the village like quite a lot. It's really cool. And we just sort of started thinking about like if free to play players can only sort of play those mini games and they never get to experience the village, which is where like 80% of our work has gone, then it just sort of felt a bit sad. It felt like a missed opportunity because the village is so damn cool, you know. And so because we've built the shop and we've got this we've got like a really good shop pipeline, a really good item pipeline, we can add stuff really easy and give it different properties that make it behave in the game without extra work. So we could do things like add a new plot, but give it load needs giving, make it free. You know, change how many creatures it can hold, like all these sort of things. So we could kind of like make these, let's say like less exclusive things, but give them away for free. So we did that. So we've made new plots that are for free to play. We've got some new what we're calling sample creatures that are free to play creatures, and we'll kind of talk about our kids with that one as well. Some sample items that are free to play. Am I missing anything? Oh yeah, and sample buildings that are free to play. So essentially, free to play players can come in, grab themselves a free plot, some free creatures, some free items, and free building, and start interacting with the village and playing with the village stuff, right? So not only is it just good for general free to play players, but I can't help but think about like all of the kids that we've seen playing the game, like, you know, like our kids or, you know, developers' kids or friends' kids come to the office when we're making the game and they sort of start touching the village or they start touching breeding. And before you know it, like they're just like sucked into the game and we've got to like kick them off our computers so that we can get back to work. You know, like kids don't just play something they don't like, you know, like kids have a lot of choice these days and they don't interact with things or spend time with things if it's not interesting to them. So we kind of love this idea that, you know, like mum and dad could be playing the game and breeding the creatures and sort of playing in a different way. But then you could get the kids on, like, you know, Damien or whatever, or Ari could come on and say, hey, like, I want to make a creature. I'm like, great. Like, I just have to like line you up with the sample creatures and you can breed away and you can sort of take them to a village and you can make a new account for them or whatever. Like, it just made a whole lot of sense. And then again, like tying that back into the attacks gem discovery stuff made sense because like if they want to repair an item, because they say the building deteriorates and now you can't breed any creatures anymore. Well, cool. Like go play attacks, you know, get some gems, come back, repair it. It sort of ties into a really good fun gameplay loop. Yeah. So
I think that's a really good, you know, what do you call it, strategy, because you don't have to, I mean, yes, the buildings deteriorates, the spaceship, or you know, what else, you know, but the users, the players, doesn't have to invest, you know, like cash or, you know, tokens to actually repair them, but instead they get to have fun playing, which is I think this is something really important and shows, you know, the community and the potential new players who are going to come into the game that we're not looking to, you know, just drain their wallets, and it's something made really for fun.
Mm.
and for people to have fun. And obviously, you have to, if you want to play to earn, you have to invest some. But there's also, the free to play option, and there's also the possibility to for you to enjoy, everything without, having to pay and become upset or whatever people are feeling these days when you have to invest in something.
Yeah, yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense because like you can try before you buy because I think a lot of crypto Web3 games they've got this paywall and then you go through this paywall and you get into the game and the game sucks potentially, but then you're sort of stuck. You're like, man, I bought this stuff to hopefully have fun in the game and the game is terrible and now you're trying to offload the things or you're complaining because you've had to pay money to get it's like paying money to get into a club and the club is shit. Like you're disappointed. So this is kind of like a try before you buy thing. Like you can come in and play the game and check it out. Like, before you decide to spend
That's
money
awesome.
on. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, like I mean, I guess like I'd say like if a nightclub said to me, look, hey, you can pay for some cool exclusive features in this club, but this club is so good that if you just come in, you're going to stay here. Like so we open our doors and let people in. Like that's a club you want to check out. You're going to check it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so so not only try before you buy, but like good for kids. Like I said, like you got kids who want to like play who maybe parents aren't into it, or if you're into it and then your kid wants to play, like you can share it as opposed to just that nagging thing. Like we all know as a parent, that thing of like you go through a shop and there's a toy and the kid wants it. It's like, oh great, like now there's gonna be like half hour of tears and this is gonna be a nightmare. So if you're playing the game and then your kid wants to play, if you've got to say, look, no, you can't play because this is money. Like if you breed a creature or lose a slot, like it means something to you, Whereas if you just had this new account and your kid can play it, you don't have to go through the fight, It's like everyone's happy. Yeah. So yeah,
I agree.
and I was gonna say the other thing is you could sort of not just those two things, but even just for people who have spent money but they want to like maybe practice breed before they do real breeds to kind of get a sense of how it works, because they might feel like, oh, I'm going to lose this breeding slot if I breed these creatures, but I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Cool. Try with some of the sample creatures first, and then when you're ready, start breeding for
Yeah.
reals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think,
Yeah, I know some of our community members would be happy to hear this update because
yeah,
most of us have kids, so I'm sure that they will also their kids will also keen to play and try the game and see what's what.
yep, 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 definitely. All right, let's continue through the notes because I've got quite a lot. Where I was up to. Okay, breeding user experience updates. So this is kind of a big one, especially because of what I just said. If kids are going to be playing this, but even just that, like us breeding, it's clear to us. Like for example, if you like, there's a few reasons why you can't breed. Like if you have a love shack and you breed, it takes some time to breed, so your love shack is occupied. Or if you have a love shack on your plot, you can breed. But if you take it off your plot to move it, and then you go to breed, then you can't breed, but you might forget what you did. And so in those cases, like the breeding button would be grayed out, which is fine for us. Like as developers, we'll be like, yeah, cool. Oh, I must have done, X, Y, or Z. I'll go take a look. But it's just like as we're kind of getting ready for release, we're like, that's not really going to cut it for users. So we've done like a few things. We've got like a checklist. So there's like a breeding checklist. So if you go and do the breed screen, if for some reason you can't breed, like you don't have enough nectar, or you don't have a love shack placed in your plot, or you're trying to breed a sample creature with a like premium creature, then you can't breed those together. So after doing the free to play stuff, we're like, okay, there's a problem here. There's too many things. There's too many reasons to not breed that can prevent you from breeding. So we really need like a little checklist. So I've just done some things around just that. It's just some sort of like gameplay UX polish, things that the community would have complained to us for, or you would have copped it, Raz, people coming in saying, oh, my breed doesn't work, and you would have to go through a mental checklist as opposed to just say, well, there's a checklist in the game. What does the checklist say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, trying to make it easy for you too, Raz, so, and users.
Thank you very much.
For everyone. Okay, and one of the big ones is like updating the user experience for raising creatures. So once you've bred a creature and it's in your village, again, as developers, we kind of we kind of knew how it works. So like us kind of attending to a creature's needs, kind of knowing what the needs are, knowing what we need to do to attend to them, knowing when they're completed. It all worked and it was good, but it just sort of wasn't, we sort of found it wasn't fully robust for like a public launch. It was just like, you can just imagine people being a bit confused about one thing or another. Like, so just kind of little things, but just things like kind of adding a tick or a star on certain things when they're met. So it's like, okay, you've got to, like, you've done the love need for the creature today, tick, or you've met all the needs for today, but like you met all the needs for today, but the day hasn't ticked over yet because the day is a 24-hour cycle. So you've done all the needs, but you'll get your updated stats in this amount of time. Just things like that, because you can imagine people sort of meeting all the needs and then going, well, but my stats haven't upgraded. It's like, yeah, you get them at the end of the 24-hour, like the cycle. There's a daily cycle for needs. So just little things like that, just to make it clearer for people.
Yeah.
That's so great. It doesn't sound like much, but like those little things, they kind of add up, because people.
It is. In order, there are a lot of things that needs to be clarified, and just the fact that you were able to recognize them and update them. I mean, this would take a lot of time. Only just to be able to think about them and see what could possibly held up. The great experience. I think that says a lot, and also, it's a really good way to get people comfortable playing and not going back and forth on Telegram or Discord or Twitter, X, just to ask a question. They have everything there, and that's good.
Yeah, cool. Yep. And it's one of those things where like, yeah, they sound small, but like for people who are going to play it, it's like, if for the sake of another couple of weeks, just like let us, if we see stuff like that that's going to like trip you over, just let us iron it out beforehand. And sometimes those things, like when you're developing the game, you get to a point where you can see that it's done, it all works. But then you kind of like slip into like player mode and just test the game. You're like, oh, okay, there's just a few little things that need to be improved. So anyway, they're mostly done. We've got a few little things on our list, which we'll talk about the release date at the end, but it's basically done. Okay, where are we? Farming. So this is not in this launch, but I'm going to bring it up. So it's one of those things where like it was in a future launch, and like while we're doing some of these little like updates, one person is waiting for another person. And you don't want to have someone sit there idle while they're waiting for the other person. Like say the front end, one of the front end village guys is waiting for the back end guy to update a thing for sample breeding creatures or whatever, and he gets stopped or he gets onto something else. So one of those tasks that was being continued on with was farming. It got to a point where it was like, oh man, this actually might make it into our first launch because it's kind of close to done. But then we kind of got unstuck and we kind of went back to working on the launch features. So it's not quite done, but my point here is, depending on how we go over the next weeks, it may slip into the first launch, or if not, then it'll be early sort of launch post-Christmas.
Okay.
And
Should
again,
we prepare ourselves to buy some tractors or something?
Tractors. Well, we'll probably give away some of the items for it because all the items are ready. Like, yeah, you can buy like a hoe to sort of like prepare a cell in the village, and then you can buy like a watering can of water. You can get seeds and stuff. Like all the parts are there. Like you can get a sickle to reap your harvest. So we've got like premium versions of those and free to play versions. So we might just put them for sale and give away some of the free stuff just so people can kind of get it and get mentally ready for it. Anyway, it's close to done, like, because a lot of it was already done on the server side. We just hadn't done the front end for it, and then we did the front end, and then when you do the front end, you kind of uncover a thing that needs to be polished on the back end. So we got to this point where we're like, okay, we'll just leave it there for now. Okay, all right, moving on. Just generally speaking, we've done like a whole lot of visual and animation polish throughout the game. It's one of those things where it's not required, but you'd just be surprised, like for a little, like once you've got all the content there, just the little bit of work it takes, like relatively to everything else that we've done, the amount of work it takes to just like add some animations onto the building so that you can kind of click them and they interact and do stuff, and Yeah, like adding like a idle animation onto Wonderman in the main menu, so kind of Wonderman's moving in the main menu as opposed to just static, and you can drag the creatures around the main menu, and it's just, I don't know, just a lot of different little things like that add a whole lot of extra kind of vibe to the game. So we've done a bunch of that stuff. And I actually skip, if you're reading through my notes as I am, Raz, I'll skip to another note. One across from that is props. So we've added a whole lot more props as well, because we started adding props that had really cool animations on them, and they were just like so fun to have these props in the village with all the animation that we could easily add more of the same sort of type. So we've done a whole heap more props and animating props. So that's kind of like more items, but also more like interaction and more animation and stuff. Okay, and then because there's so many kind of items now, we kind of wanted to improve the inventory so that you can like check through filters because like some of our menus are just huge, and like trying to scroll through everything in the game is a bit of a pain, like trying to find stuff. And we've got the system there to kind of to improve this without too much work. So we just sort of like bring some more consistency with the item background, so you can kind of see things grouped with colors and that sort of stuff. And then having filters, so you can like click different filters to sort that material. So just kind of a little bit of a user experience update, so that when you're in the game, you can kind of easily sort of go through what you have and see what's there. And you would have known that, Raz, I've seen people in the community even asking about that in their inventory in the account page. Like people are already asking for that in the account page. Like we know they're going to want it in the game inventory, and it's easy for us to add it. Like for us to add it now is going to take like a day or two, versus adding it later. Like if you don't get it now for the extra day or two, then you're gonna have to wait 2 months or 3 months to get it. So we just okay, let's just get it in now, so you've got it from the start. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the stuff. There's a couple more. We've come up with a seasonal promotion. So this is a thing we came up with like a couple of years ago when Raz joined, or soon after Raz joined. We came up with our Christmas-like promotion, which is called Festiverse, which is somewhat based on Seinfeld's Festivus, and like it's just like it's the Christmas of Acadia. And of Wonderman. So yeah, it's called Festiverse. So we've come up, and I'd say this is one of those things where two ideas combined. So I come up with the idea for us giving away gifts for Festiverse, which then people can collect through doing some activities or whatever, and then they would open like on a certain date. So you kind of like all your gifts unwrap, and you get like little presents inside. So that was kind of like one idea. And then a separate idea we had for launch was to have an affiliate like kind of loyalty promotion where people can invite users and do certain sort of things in the account page to get like points, and then the points unlock prizes. And those two things were kind of two separate ideas, which then we just were like, oh man, these are the same thing actually. So people can do things to like say, send out email invites, and if people accept those invites and join the game, then you get some points. If they like not just join the game but play the game, they get some more points. If they play attacks, they get more points. If they buy an item, you get more points. Just things like that. Kind of like I've kind of compared it to Temu, which is like, I don't know, like it or not. You got to say they've done a really good job of like, in a way, like gamifying a shopping experience, but also just like ways, like finding fun ways for users to share the thing. So, and I think we've got a much better, like a much more fun system for doing that. Cause like we're saying with our thing, if you share it and people come and play it and have fun, then you get points. Like they don't even have to spend stuff, for you to like get gifts in game. So anyway, so those two things combined. So we've just done our Festiverse promotion. We've got that set up. So in the meantime, until Festiverse like ends and presents unlock, there'll be like Festiverse decorations on buildings, and you'll get like a Festiverse tree, and you'll be able to get presents which the creatures will kick around the village until they like unlock, and you'll be able to go into the account and unlock them to reveal your prizes. And so yes, so for the launch, it just kind of made sense if we're going to do this again, all the things combined together. So if we're going to do this free to play promotion stuff where we've got like more free to play items, and we've got these Festivus gifts, and we have an affiliate program. It just makes sense to combine all that stuff together and get it out in the first release. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, man. Well, that's basically it for the V1 updates. I don't know. Do you have any questions on those before we talk about like the upcoming updates? Like, because I've heard people ask about battles, like when will battles be launched?
Yeah, well, that was the question because we have like just a couple of questions. I remember that there was that one about the free to play. I was wondering, so you said the buildings deteriorate, and what would be the reason for them to just wear off? Uh, could you give us perhaps some examples?
Yes, yes, yes. So it's different between items and buildings. So buildings deteriorate essentially like daily. It's just like time. Like you build a building, you don't have to do anything with it. It just
Yeah.
like decays over time, kind of thing. A building can be so yeah. So if it's on the plot, it will deteriorate. But the premium items, like the buildings that you guys have all bought, they're all like they've got like a 3 year lifespan for deterioration, but no item, like, sorry, how to put this, every item can be regenerated or like fixed up to its maximum with gems. So if you guys play attacks and then spend gems to repair your building, it can be repaired back to full health. So it's not like it's a one-way street and then it's deleted.
Yeah.
And it's pretty simple. Like I would say, if you have a building in attacks, after 3 years, you might need to spend, depends on which gems you get, you might need to spend like 2 gems a year to keep it, like 2 gems for reaching a planet. If you reach a planet, you get a gem. They have different values, but 2 of those will repair it back for the year. So it's not like you got to grind. Like for anyone who buys premium buildings, it's like, actually, if you just play the game, you'll have more gems than you need to spend on the buildings. You could probably play for a day, and like after 3 years, you could play for a day, not even a day. You could play for like a few hours in a day, and repair all your buildings. Like it's, yeah, for like anyone who's playing the game as a premium player, it won't be a problem. You won't have to think about it essentially. For people who get free to play items, they'll deteriorate faster. Like as in, like they'll have less health. They'll have like say 1% health. So a premium building might have 3 years. A free to play building might have 2 weeks or 30 days, like a month.
And we're talking about real time, right?
Real time, yeah, real time, yep. And so if your building has 30 days lifespan, because we've done some really cool props that actually look destroyed and broken. Like we made it fun even with those ones. It should be a fun experience, right? Like actually even having those used ones. Like I can imagine premium players wanting to get those free ones and putting them on their plot just because they look so cool. Like a bit of a decrepit barn. Like they look fun.
Nice.
So yeah, so if anyone who's got those buildings, they'll be able to play attacks and then use the gems to repair them like every month. So it's a little bit more. Like I wouldn't say it's totally grindy, but it's a little bit more grindy. Like if you don't play for a month, you'll come back and your barn will be decrepit, and you'll have to like play attacks and get some gems and then repair it, and now you can breed again. Yeah. And the other question was items. So that was buildings. Items, they have uses. So they'll have a set number of uses, and every time let's say you've got a brush, every time you use it to like brush your creature to give it some love, then that counts as like one usage, like one condition point. So depending on how often you use your items, they'll deteriorate potentially faster, because you could use an item like 100 times in a day if you're playing a lot. Yeah, but again, like
and then you can polish them with gems.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There are only a few items that are consumable, so when they get used, they get used. Like that's like a water balloon. You can't repair a water balloon. Once that's blown up and given your creatures all the fun interaction and love points, then it's used. Yeah, but then the free to play brushes, like a premium brush might have, I don't know off the top of my head, but might have like say 1,000 uses before is unusable when you can repair it. Whereas a free to play brush might have 30 uses before it needs to be repaired. Yep, yep.
Yeah, that's nice, man. You're making me excited, just to see this in action. So yeah, bringing the next question, when the will be the battles ready?
Yeah, okay. Look, it's a good question. It's a fair question. It's one that we've asked ourselves a lot, and I think that's probably a big part of why we wanted to launch V1, also with the free to play breeding and attacks and the more advanced attacks, just to kind of have more of the content, right from the start. So battles, like we have had battles working, like we had it working like 2 years ago or whatever. But we wanted to revisit it. There was some things about it that we weren't 100% happy with. We didn't 100% finish it. So some of those things we wanted to iron out would have been ironed out if we had have completed it at the time. But now we've kind of changed the village stuff. Sort of changed the way some of the game systems worked. Just like, for example, like the way the creatures are pulled, like where the creatures live in the game kind of is different to what it used to be, things like that. So our first step would be to sort of, once we get through this V1 launch, dust off what we had for our previous battles mode, and then take a look at how long it will take. So I don't exactly know how long it's going to take. We have to kind of just get it working again. But there's probably like a couple of different answers to that as well, because there's 3 ways we can go about doing battles. In order, maybe in order. Let's say from most ideal to the fastest, or like the slowest to the fastest. The slowest would be we start doing battles and then we just keep on going until we're like totally happy with it and we think it's like the best battle mode ever. That we or doing the best thing that we wanted it to do, and then we release it. Right. So how long that might take? I mean, that version of things might right. It might be like 6 to 9 months for that, because we've got some ideas around some gameplay changes that we're going to make to it. So that might be like a 6 to 9 month build, maybe. The shorter version of that is take the battle mode that we have, and even if we don't think it's perfect yet, we can release that with some polish, and that can be like a version 1 battles, or it can be like a sample battles or trial battles or something like that, because it does work, like it's there, so and maybe it's not a bad idea, because then people can start battling with the mode that they have, and then we can sort of reveal more details about how we want to update the design when we launch that, so people can play it and have conversation about it. Like, do they agree with what we want to do, or do they have a different idea? So there's that version. And then in the faster version, we're going to brainstorm more on this next year, but we've come up with some ideas for like other PvP battle stuff that we can do. So it's not exactly the battles mode, but like ways that players can battle each other with the stuff that we already have, because we've got a lot in attacks and pinball and the village, and with the marbles and the creatures, there's a lot of stuff there already. So we've got a whole bunch of ideas for ways we can have sort of players do PvP battles that aren't the battle mode as well. So yeah, like I'll give you okay, one example might be like you breed a creature and you get it in a marble, someone else breeds a creature and they get it in a marble, and then we have like a marble kind of mini game. We can play marbles for keeps, and you can actually have like a pink slips kind of like play your marbles against you. Or like from this playing in a school ground, if you play marbles at school, when you play marbles, you typically play for keeps. Like if we play marbles and I hit your marble or vice versa, then that person keeps it, Yeah. So we've got some ideas for stuff like that, like things we can do with tech we already have fast, where we could like potentially punch out like 3 different kind of fast PvP kind of battling modes in the meantime as well, like while we're doing the other mode. Like, so yeah, they're the 3 options basically.
I'd say the second one would be the most wanted right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get to experience already the build version of the battles, and we can work in the background to improve it. And also the idea with the PvP mini games. I was thinking about pinball because if you have two creatures, you can decide I can play pinball by myself, and I can just break the marble, and or I can just wait for someone else to join, and uh, we play like side by side, and
Mm.
whoever gets the biggest score, I don't know, wins. But it's not like to play for something, but that then you will actually have competition, when trying to break the marble, which is something nice to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally
Or you
agree.
can just bet some nectar or whoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good idea to just have them roll out and upgrade them as in the meantime the players get to experience them.
Mm. Yep. Yep. Yeah, like I think both of those work. Yeah, because like the idea of doing side by side pinball, PvP pinball, is kind of cool. Like, because like I mean, yeah, pinball at an arcade, there's two player. You can player one up, you get a score. I'd almost go so far as to say like when people are doing PvP pinball, one person plays and the other person spectates, and then once their turn is over, vice versa. Because it puts a bit of pressure on like when you're playing and someone else is watching. Like the feeling of being observed changes how you play. Like it's a different mindset.
I agree, but there are people who makes millions in high score, and if we were to wait for them, for example, if I was to play against one of them, I would just play for 1 minute,
Mm.
lose, and then watch him for I don't know 15, 20 minutes because it takes a lot of time to just reach that high score.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I reached 1 million yet, but I've seen people who have like 15 million or so, and
Yep.
I think it takes a lot of time for them to reach that high score.
Yeah, but you'll learn a lot by observing as well. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's a good way to get better.
I haven't thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because like a
nice.
part of well, there's a good saying around the people who that's not a direct quote, but the people who are the best at the best, like the best of their in their field or the best at a particular sport, they're the people who have lost the most.
Yeah,
Right? They're the people who have lost and lost and lost over and over again until they got to a point where they can win and be the best. Like you've got to lose a lot before you become the best. So just treat it like a training.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Um,
Uh, yeah, we have some questions in the YouTube chat if you want to go through them, and then we can talk about the updates.
yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, we have Visible. Hey, Visible. Hi, we are aspiring Australian learning game startup made possible to get some of your fabulous design sprites someday as a partnership. Our customers are 17, 18 years old. Uh, and that's it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let us know. Let us know what you have in mind. Happy to share
Yeah.
with and collaborate with with OG fans.
Okay. So, and yeah, Couch Co-op Game Studio says I prefer an unpolished battles that is playable, then improves over time. This is how most card games work. The meta evolves, characters got refined, nerfed, or buffed. And then he asked, sorry, I was 10 minutes late. Did I miss the launch date? No, we
No.
haven't touched that yet. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's it. We can move on.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. So yeah, again for Visible, yeah, just let us know what you want to do, and you're in TG, so yeah, we can reach
Yeah,
out.
we know each other. It's a OG.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah,
always there.
yeah.
So
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He can let you know and discuss it open in the group, or just you can just DM me and we
yeah,
can chat privately as well. Okay, so I guess that brings us to launch date. Is that what we're up to?
which was one of the questions, but I didn't ask because
Yeah. Well,
I
this.
know it was coming.
Yeah. Well, we're nearly at 8 p.m. So it's a good. It's been an hour, so it's a good time. We've gone through all the updates. I think. Oh, I guess like upcoming alliances. We haven't talked about alliances. Yeah, alliances are important for the whole, like, community stuff ahead of battles as well, because for the final battles we wanted people to have sort of control and ownership over those. We don't have to go into that too much today, but back to the battles thing, if we do launch like a V1 or a V 0.5 battles, then we wouldn't need alliances for that, because the battle or arenas wouldn't be owned by the alliances yet. So we could potentially have those kind of two things kind of coming out at the same time.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now, so for launch date, the big question, what I wanted, the internal dates, was I wanted a build candidate this Friday, just gone, for me to test this weekend, and then have us kind of ready to put that out next week, whether that be like the Monday or the Friday kind of thing. Like, basically, this build candidate that I was reviewing this weekend was meant to be our sort of near to final. And it actually has gone pretty well. Like, we got to Friday, and we're like, oh man, there's a couple of little bugs that were just kind of holding a few things up. Like, because we've changed some stuff. For example, like the one of those was to do with like the new free barn, like a medium used barn that has like a breeding slot but like a low health. So we added that in, and then that was breaking some other breeding stuff, and it just sort of seemed like, oh man, like we've really missed this Friday launch date, like, or Friday release build candidate by a long shot. But then we got everything fixed in pretty quick order anyway. So I would say the release candidate is looking pretty good as it is. The last things on that list are some of the stuff I touched on, like just the inventory improvements, and just some of the finalizing, the love and the stat need breeding stuff for creatures. They're the main two kind of. There's a few other little things, but they're the main two items that I want to get into the release build. So I would put a reasonably confident launch date of in around a week, like around end of next week or the Monday following. Like the last things that we're doing now, like I'm pretty sure we've found everything. And I'd also just sort of go so far as to say, look, if we release this first thing and there's a couple of like little tasks that I wanted in first release, but they didn't quite get done, then I might just sort of put them on hold and wait until next year, just so that we've got like the game out like a week before Christmas. That gives us time to get it out. Everyone gets a chance to play it before Christmas. We get a chance to like fix any bugs or make any final improvements. Maybe push another build out just before Christmas break. But yeah, so launch date is something around, end of next week or the Monday. So it's like the 12th.
So we did 19. That would put us on Friday next. No, 12. Sorry.
Yeah.
12. That would be Friday next week to 15, maybe.
Yeah.
Which is Monday.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So
and
that's
what would be part of this release?
Well, everything I talked about. I guess what we can do is like everything that I talked about, except for the farming. Like let's consider farming to not be in, and that's likely going to be like early next year. But yeah. Oh yeah, I've got a question about will that launch on Immutable as well. So our first good question. Thanks.
Just
yeah, thanks for the reminder. So yeah, we're still launching on Immutable. The launch date for that isn't as set. It's just one of those things where like you're working with another platform, and they want you to do X, Y, and Z, and then you do X, Y, and Z, and then they need to review it, and they've got their own stuff going on, and it's getting near to Christmas for them too. So I can't guarantee when it's going to launch on Immutable, but it's going to be after we launch, just direct, I would say. So we'll launch direct, and then after that,
year to just think about. I'm thinking about there's the winter break, the Christmas and New Year's Eve. I'm thinking that probably not everyone is going to be as much, present as we are,
Mm.
or even us, because I'm pretty sure that you guys need a couple of days for taking a break, and
Yeah.
I can imagine that Immutable would do uh, the same thing.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
I'd imagine as
just not
well.
to raise expectations, because I've gone through this in our community, and we said about some ideal dates and stuff like that, and people took them for granted. But it's not like we're gonna launch after we launch, meaning 1 week or so. I I'd say that we may be more clear if we can just say next year, because
Mm.
we have the holidays happening. We're launching our own and release candidates. You get to test it, and then we can just move forward with the other launch, the official launch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, time goes really fast. It's funny when you say like next year, like it sounds like a long way away, but like you put it this way, it's like our
Three
candidate,
weeks.
yeah, yeah, it's a few weeks. Like our release is going to be like from the 12th, around the 12th, 15th, is what I'm pushing for, and I think we can hit that. And then there's like a week until the Christmas break, and then a couple of weeks later, Immutable and everyone are going to be back at work. So yeah, so releasing on Immutable might be 2 or 3 weeks after we launch,
Yeah,
something like that. But yeah, but
I'm
I don't
happy.
have an official date from them because like they can't give us an official date until like we've kind of checked their boxes for some things, and we could check those boxes really quickly, but we're sort of busy working on our own release and our own affiliate program and getting everything ready for ourselves for us to do the best possible launch. Because like if we were just to kind of focus on just everything that they wanted, then the stuff that we wanted for our affiliate program and our Festiverse campaign and for our best first release is going to sort of be held up, and then we'll be relying on them to do the marketing instead of us having our own promotions. So we just sort of, yeah, making sure that we've got all of our ducks in a row before we go off and sort of finalize the stuff with them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and look, I agree. I agree with that comment. Yeah, couch co-op.
Might be better if the OG community tested first.
Yeah,
Tested first.
yeah, I 100% agree. Like, because you guys will play it, you'll be going through the campaign. Like, honestly, I think this affiliate reward program is super cool. Like, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, you guys kind of know us, and you know how hard we work, and you know what we're doing. Like, if we were to launch with Immutables audience, like we don't know them and they don't know us, like we want, you want to make sure that like I don't think we're going to make a bad first impression to anyone. Like that's one thing we want to do a really good job of. Like you get one chance to make a first impression, we're going to try to make the strongest, best one we can, and I think you'll all be pretty impressed with it. But at the same time, there might just be like one or two little things that you guys feedback on that make a big difference to the
Yeah.
first player's experience. And if we hit those things and then launch with Immutable, then those new people who don't know us, get that sort of even better experience or more refined experience. But honestly, like I think I said this the other day, like last weekend, when I told everyone that I was going to delay this AMA for a week just because I was so exhausted. So that's on me from working and not sleeping. Yeah, but like people were sort of like a bit upset that things were going to get delayed at that point. But one thing I kind of said at that point too was like, well, look, I think if anything, when we release this, people are going to be complaining about not having more stuff, like as opposed to having a shit game. Like I don't think anyone's going to play what we have and go, God, this is terrible. This is awful. You've made a terrible product. I think it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be people going to thinking like, this is awesome, and give us more of it. So it's like, I guess one thing I'd say, I'll just preempt, like, if the OG community are in the community saying, wow, this is an awesome game, we want more of it, like then, maybe count that as a good thing, that's your experience,
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. Well, that's me, Raz.
Okay, thank Garth. Thank you so much. So, guys, I don't know. It's been a while, and these guys worked harder than ever to make this happen. And obviously, Garth shared a lot of updates today. So I think I'm speaking in the name of our community and also myself. Thank you very much for doing a great job and doing such improvements to the game and have it ready before Christmas. I think we're all excited about next week, and we're looking forward to play and test and see. And I'm curious about the how the buildings are going to worn out,
Mm,
but also about all of the other features.
yep.
Uh, and yeah, I think you know everyone is as excited as me. And yeah, if there are any other type of updates, we're going to be sharing with you guys over Telegram. If you have any other additional questions, again, you can jump in on Telegram or Discord or our X/Twitter uh, channel. And thank you very much for joining. Over and
Thank,
out.
thank you,
Right.
everyone. Thank you for listening through
See
this big
you
update.
next time.
Yep. See you next time, everyone. Bye.